Hey guys, happy Sunday. I'm just tinkering around out here in the garage. I'm getting ready to go to the flea market here in about an hour. Usually runs till about 2 o'clock, and the later you go, the better the deals you get. But I wanted to show a couple of pipe wrenches that I cleaned up yesterday. This first one here is a Dunlap, and it's German made. It's an 8-inch pipe wrench, and it's been taken apart and cleaned up. It's pretty cool. And the other one that I was cleaning up, I'm glad I caught it, but I was getting ready to take it to the wire wheel, and you can see the color. This is, I believe, beryllium copper, and very harmful if inhaled. So this here is a Pexto 10-inch pipe wrench, and I believe it is non-sparking beryllium copper. I'm pretty sure the camera's picking up the color here. So that's pretty cool. It's the only piece of beryllium that I own, and it was pretty dirty, so I couldn't tell initially. So I more or less just wiped it down with some oil. So I got about 6 of these wrenches that I've cleaned up recently, and I'm going to make a video of the whole collection. And this particular style. Over here against the wall, I got about 1 million other pipe wrenches there, and I got one here, and I got about 20 more inside, various rigid ones. I got a big aluminum rigid, and a rigid from the 40s with a sticker still on it, a black one. So that's pretty cool. That's about it. In other news, the vise that I picked up yesterday is almost done. I've cleaned it all up, taken it apart. The only piece I have left to finish is this base plate. I have to pull the Dremel out and clean up all inside there. You can see the rust. Hard to get to otherwise, so the only thing that I couldn't get off of this were the jaws. I tried impact, I tried everything, and it was just marring up the screws. So my options are to drill them out, which I almost did, or to leave it intact, which I might just do. I'm not sure, but nothing was moving these. Not impact, not anything. So otherwise, it was pretty much standard process of disassembly, typical of any vise. The only different part for me was this bolt here. Can you see that little nick right there? Now they had kind of whacked that out, so it stuck up a little bit on both sides, and there was this thicker kind of washer up on here. So they had it locked in place with the washer, and they just put little notches in the shaft to ensure that the washer couldn't slide past. So I just went in there and ground down the little notches, and because I wanted this out. I wasn't gonna clean up the vise and leave that in there and not be able to get to underneath it, and everything else. So otherwise, it was pretty standard. Yeah, nothing really noteworthy, but this is a cool little vise. Like I had said, it's about the same size as my Colombian C43, so it's a small vise. And speaking of vices, I'll do a video shortly of my entire collection, because I've acquired quite a few. The only one that I actually use is this. Morgan Chicago 140. So I picked this up in trade. I traded a guy a snap-on wrench for it. So, it's a pretty good sized vise, pretty smooth. Knurled jaws. So, I didn't do much as far as cleanup. He had it in pretty good shape. It was regularly maintained and oiled, and it's a smooth vise. So this is the one that I actually use. And I got a couple more over here. Reed 104. I did have this mounted at one point on the welding table, but I never used it, so I decided to take it out. Reed 203. This is about a medium-sized vise. It's smaller than the than the one I just showed you, but it's a nice little vise. I got this at a flea market. It was painted blue. Somebody painted over rust. It was mounted to a piece of wood and spray painted with some kind of metallic blue. So I have those two, and then I have a Colombian in the back there. And I forget what model that Colombian is, but I believe that's a 3.5 inch jaw. So I have the Colombian, the two Reeds. In the house there is a Craftsman 6 inch, a Colombian C43, a bunch of different jeweler vices, and a smaller general vise. And then of course I have a jewel pipe vise back there, the red one. And then over here, the rigid BC10, which is taken apart and in the process of being cleaned up and painted. I had to add these bolts here for pipe bending, but I got to finish a little bit of welding on those and some grinding and polishing and some cleanup, and I'll put that back together. I'm going to paint that red. Red and probably some white highlights. But yeah, so that's pretty much my vise situation. I put together this little bench grinder. I had primed and painted the base here. I made a little modification to the belt pulley there. They had it just kind of set in place with a pin, just a pin that you knock in. So it wasn't going in back. It wasn't going back in the way it should, and it was kind of janky to begin with. So I went ahead and tapped the shaft and tapped the wheel and put in some set screws, Allen head set screws, 2 of them. So that is locked into place and totally solid, which is good. I don't want anything. I don't want that to spin off or move around at all. So this is the motor that's going to run it. I'm in the process of cleaning that up. It's got a little strip of steel plate bent around, and that'll bolt right down. I'm going to have a piece of either wood or steel. I'd rather steel. I like solid stuff, but wood would be way easier to deal with. But it's an older GE motor, so that will run this. Like I had said, I'm going to elevate this about 1 inch and get 2 8-inch wire wheels. So it'll be running 2 8-inch wire wheels, one fine, one coarse. The table saw I've shown before is complete, and the motor that runs it is the Westinghouse that I've cleaned up. It was in pretty good shape to begin with, so I'm calling that done. This is done, with the exception of the motor, which is no big deal. And that's really it. I'm trying to wrap it up here so I can get to this drill press. I don't want to start taking this apart and cleaning it with a million open projects. I just don't. It's too much stress. I want to focus on one thing at a time, and I have a problem because I like to jump in head first to a million projects at the same time, and I can never get caught up because I'm always buying tool lots. But I guess there's worse problems to have in life. So what I'm gonna start, the first thing I'm gonna do when I take this apart is there's two Allen set screws. There's one here and there's one on the other side. Loosen those. I'll slide this plate, motor mount plate, forward. Slip the belt off. Put that to the side. I'll take the motor and the motor mount plate off as a separate unit. And I'll put that down and I'll remove the plate from the motor. I'm just going to brush the motor up. I'm not going to do any hardcore cleaning. I'm just going to brush it up with a plastic bristle brush, clean it up, wipe it down. I'm going to remove the pulley and clean that up separate. And then, so the motor will be off, and my next move will be this section here. I'll go ahead and remove, slide that up and off. So the bulk of it will be off. It'll be just this shaft and the stand and the shelf. So I'll probably take the shelf off next, and I'll be left with the shaft and the base. You know, I'm just trying to do it in stages because this is very heavy and I don't want anything to happen. I don't want any accidents. So, so that'll be next. I'm going to take pictures of the whole process and label things, but it's fairly basic as far as how it goes together. There's not a lot of... that's what's cool about this older stuff. It's simple, you know. It's all right there. It's all mechanical. So, should be fairly straightforward. It's going to clean up real nice, I can tell. I can't wait. So, what's going to happen is I'm going to mount this. I'm going to bolt this to the welding table. But the welding table is going to be over here in front of these windows where this bench is. And this desk that's in the corner is going bye-bye. So that's going to be gone. I'll put either the Cobalt workbench or the Craftsman workbench next to it in the corner. This area will be wide open so that I can access the hardware bins. And the welding table is going to permanently sit in front of these two windows. And on the welding table, I shouldn't call it the welding table anymore because, you know, I don't know how much space I'm going to have left on it to actually weld, but that's okay. On the welding table, I'm going to have the table saw, the bench grinder, a vise, this drill press, that drill press, and this little attachment with a sanding wheel and drums for a belt sander. That's going to be cleaned up, repainted, and so all those pieces are going to be mounted to the metal welding table. So we'll see what happens. If I don't have enough space or it looks crazy or it's not practical, I'll revise that. But for the most part, I don't really want to mount anything to the Craftsman bench or the Cobalt bench because they're wooden tops, and you know, it's once you start putting holes in that wood, not to mention there's drawers underneath, so you can't really have any big bolts protruding down into the drawer area. So we'll see what happens, but I definitely want to have the presses mounted. You know, I'll probably only use this one, or maybe not even. I might just keep these and just look at them, you know, keep them in good shape. Because right now I just use these two presses, the Delta and the Durabrand, and they work pretty good. They're you know, cheaper, but so that's what I have going on. I'll do another video later today with what I get at the flea market, but going to be taking off here in about 45 minutes. But just a quick update. I wanted to show these wrenches off. So, and I kind of did a little sourcing on these beryllium pieces. They're pricey. You know, you go online and look, and I didn't find this particular piece, but other beryllium tools, they're pricey. So it's kind of a cool find. I don't see that stuff all the time. So anyways, have a great day. I appreciate it. Thanks.